we never talk about that again. Yeah, it's kind of like what happened to me with my dad. I'm like, why? Like, that's not a bad thing. Like, you know what I mean? That's what needs to change. You know, putting those two things in a sentence, like it's a bad thing. No, it's not. It's a great thing. And it's a beautiful thing as long as that's what you want and you love it. And there's, you know, I mean, love has no age, love has no sex, love has like no rules, you know? So I'm happy that he was happy and Herman got to live what he wanted to live and have that experience and fall in love with a man. And I'm totally good with it.
That's good. Last question about this. Well, then to your point, if he never would have come out and told you, you know, look, we're in a different, like we talked about, like we're in a different situation with housewives now. You know, you look at like Jen Shaw, I mean, allegedly did all these things, and Erica and Tom Girardi, and what happened to Teresa, you know, like how would he have handled then you being approached to be back on the show now?
I have thought about that, David. I have thought about that very much. And, you know, I feel like if he wouldn't have passed away when he did, this shit was gonna hit the fan soon, because he was like very involved with this individual. And in the beginning, I didn't know, you know, I just thought like, oh, okay, you know, whatever, you know, as after we got separated, I said, yo, he's going out, he's having fun, you know how guys are, you know, and there's some drinks, and we're probably like, they're all having like a big orgy, like guys and girls and the whole thing, you know, and I pictured all that kind of stuff. But what I didn't know was all this information that I got after he passed away, where he was in a real relationship with a man. So I'm very much in love. So I feel like if he wouldn't have passed away within a couple of months, not the entire world, like by being on the show and sharing this, but a lot of people would have found out. And then maybe he would have become more comfortable. And, you know, so I would have eventually, it would have come back to me. And you know how these shows are. If you don't say your story and your narrative, somebody else will. So I would have maybe, you know, agreed to be on the show. I would have stayed quiet, but then somebody, look what Adriana said in the middle of the sushi dinner, which she had heard at the funeral. So it's like, you can't control, I can control what comes out of my mouth, but I can't control what's going to come out of yours. So, you know, it's just, I'm happy that I got to, for me to share it, you know, the way that it really is, the way that I really feel it, the way that I really wanted it, because it wasn't to like badmouth him, you know, or to like make this, you know, fun of this or anything like that. But it was in a way that it came from love, and it came from a good place.
And otherwise, if you think you would have still done the show, obviously now, and like you wouldn't have said it, but maybe someone else would have.
Oh, I'm sure. You know, the girls I'm on the show with, of course they would have brought that up. You know, they all would have wanted their moment. And you know what? That would have been ugly and nasty. Because I feel like when they come at you like that, you need to defend yourself. So they get a different side of the story. You know what I mean? So I'm happy that I was able to talk about it, like I said. And, you know, the truth is that when you're in a reality show like that, you have to. How can I not talk about this? First of all, it was already kind of entertained in season 3, and I got away with it. And at that point, I really had no information. You know what I mean? There were rumors, but a rumor is a rumor and a fact is a fact. So it's like, you know, there was a rumor. And like I said, I've even talked about it before, and you'll like see in the reunion, I talk a little bit more about it. So you'll have to watch the reunion, you know, as far as how much I knew. But, you know, the truth is that it was inevitable. Like I needed to speak about this, and it's something that was, you know, important to me. So that's why I shared it.
That's great. Well, I do know how women could be on these shows, as you say. We have some familiar faces back with you. Larsa's back, Adriana, Marisol, Lisa. What's the best thing about having Marisol as your BFF?
Oh my God, it's been great. I have so much fun with her. It's like we're always laughing. Thank God, she's like my comedy. I'm the one that brings in like all the tragedy, and then she makes fun of it, which is kind of, you know, I need that. You know, sometimes you have to laugh about things. But it's been really good because, you know, we've become such great friends like throughout the years. So she knows me very well. I know her very well. And, you know, we talk about everything and laugh about everything. So it's been really good. We're like the dynamic duo.
Are you shocked? Because I know there was a lot of fans who were shocked, you know, like after you guys were all done filming the season, that like Marisol and Adriana are like friends of and not technically housewives.
Yeah, I mean, again, like with these shows, you never really know, right? Like what's you know, we're not producers, so we don't know exactly, you know, what they're looking for. But, you know, I thought that they, you know, both were great. I mean, you know, they've been part of this for so many years. You know, we have like a real friendship after like all these years. And, you know, I wasn't shocked though. Honestly, I mean, I would have wanted them to be housewives, but I think that even the term today has changed so much. You know, sometimes it's really not about being a housewife or a friend. It's like how much presence and what kind of an impact you make on the audience. And I feel that even though Marisol and Adriana weren't holding the mojito, they had a huge impact, you know, on the show and on the group and on all these other women, and that you got to see them a lot.
I mean, that's a good point. Sometimes the friends of have more going on and more screen time and more of an impact than housewives.
Yeah.
Who do you think has kind of done more in their role, Marisol or Adriana?
Well, I mean, I think they both have done a lot in their role, but I prefer Marisol's style. You know what I mean? I'm more like, if you were to tell me, like, if you had to pick Marisol or Adriana as a friend to be on your show, who would you be more friends with? That's how I really think, like in my real life, because like I've always said, like the show revolves around my life. You know, my life doesn't revolve around the show. I don't do anything for the show. Like, this is it. This is like my real life, right? So again, they're both in my real life because I'm friends with Adriana for many, many years, and Marisol the same. But there's a reason why I'm friendlier with Marisol than with Adriana. So if you were to ask me, like, who would I pick? It would definitely be Marisol.
What about who has shocked you the most out of the people, you know, you worked with in the past, like Larsa, Adriana, Lisa, out of the people you've worked with in the past?
But shocked me what, this season?
Yeah, like, you know, either it could be good or bad, just in terms of like.
Right. Well, I'm like, I always kept in touch with Larsa, and I always believed that the show would come back, that she would be great. So, you know, lucky for us, or for me, because I actually like her, that, you know, 8 years later, she's back filming with us. And I feel like the fans, not me, because like I said, I knew her from before, and I know her very well. I feel like the fans are like pleasantly surprised by her, because they had like this image of Larsa Pippen as Scotty's wife and, you know, Kim's friends and like the whole social media thing. And now you're seeing another side to her, which I always knew, and I adored that side to her because I know her very well. So I thought that that was like great. You know, I really like that. I like that the fans got to see who she really is. And yes, she also has that world, but there's other, like, you know, components of Larsa, not just that what you knew. So I wasn't shocked, but I'm sure a lot of fans are shocked, you know, the viewers. And, you know, I knew she was a great mom. I knew she had been a great wife. You know, it's hard being her too. Like, none of, you know, other women don't get it, but she was married to, like, you know, a badass basketball player for many years when nobody was doing that, you know, and she had a marriage for many, many years. So there's a lot of things about her that I knew that the audience was going to love. So I was excited about that.